So here we are in Contensis 15. I just want to give you an overview of our new webhooks feature. Webhooks allow you to inform other systems or third-party integrations of when some sort of activity takes place in Contensis. So whether that's an entry being published or unpublished, or a piece of navigation changing in the site view tree, you can use webhooks to inform other systems of these types of changes. To access webhooks, you need to head over to Settings, and webhooks are created on a per project basis. So here we can see webhooks under the project settings. When you come to the webhook screen, you'll be presented with an empty state if you've not created any before, and we can just go ahead and create a new webhook. You can create a webhook from scratch or use one of our existing templates. I'll touch on the templates in another video. So I'm going to select New Webhook. From here now, I need to give three basic pieces of information. I need to give it a name, a URL to your integration endpoint, and a topic, something that will trigger the webhook from being sent. So first of all, we need to give our webhook a name. In this example, I'm going to do demo webhooks feature. And then the next piece of information we need to provide is a webhook URL. Now this URL will be provided by your third-party integration or any service endpoint that you're creating. You'll need to provide the webhook URL. It needs to be a HTTPS URL. For this example, I'm just going to use webhook.site to demonstrate this. So here we get a unique URL. So I'm going to copy that one over and paste that into this screen. So we've got a name and we've got a URL endpoint that will receive our message when a piece of activity takes place in Contensis. But we need to determine what activity will trigger the webhook, and that's where topics come in. So I'm going to add a new topic, and here you can see a whole bunch of different topic types that can trigger a webhook from being fired. So we're going to look at a basic entry event, and here you can see the different event types of an entry that can trigger a webhook. So we've got quite a lot here. We've got created, updated, deleted, published, and unpublished. For this demonstration, I'm just going to use an unpublished event, and I'm going to scope it to the content type of MathJax and LaTeX. So what this webhook is basically saying now, that given any entry in the MathJax LaTeX content type is unpublished, then send a message to this URL to say something has happened. So let's see that in action. So I'm going to save that. Head over to the entry editor, and here we can see a couple of MathJax LaTeX content entries, and I'm just going to unpublish one. So I'm going to hit unpublish. Yes, I will confirming I want to unpublish that. So the volume of a sphere has been unpublished, and if we head over to webhook.site, which is a great way to kind of test webhooks, we can see the message that was sent from Contensis. Here is the payload. It's in a JSON format, and it gives us lots of information. We can see that it was invoked by me, Richard Saunders. The event name was unpublished, the date and time that took place, and then a little bit of information about the particular resource that triggered that webhook. So we know it was an entry of the MathJax content type. It had a title of volume of a sphere. It was an entry. Here's its entry ID, and here's the URL to the particular version of the entry that was unpublished. So that's a quick overview of webhooks and how they can be used to send messages to third-party systems that you can then act upon in your integration.